You know what's wild? Sony might have just accidentally confirmed the most insane cinema camera upgrade in years. And nobody's talking about how this could completely flip the game for indie filmmakers and YouTubers alike. I'm talking about the FX3 Mark II. And if even half these leaks are real, we're not just getting an upgrade, we're getting a camera that could make the $6,000 price tag feel like a steal. So before we break down the leak Sony doesn't want you connecting, hit like, share this with someone waiting on their next cinema camera, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. But here's the thing, there's a catch. And it's hiding in the specs everyone's ignoring. So let's rewind. The original FX3, absolute workhorse. Compact, reliable, incredible autofocus. But let's be honest, it had its quirks. Rolling shutter? Sometimes looked like you were filming through Jello. 4K crop? Limited your lens choices. High frame rates? Good, but not great. Now, the FX3 Mark II rumors are pointing to something completely different. We're hearing whispers of a new stacked full-frame sensor, possibly 24 megapixels, which sounds boring until you realize what that actually unlocks. Oversampled 4K. That means the camera is reading more pixels than it needs, downscaling for insane sharpness and detail. Think of it like this. Instead of stretching a small pizza to feed 10 people, you're making a giant pizza and giving everyone a perfect slice. The image quality difference? Night and day. But that's just the appetizer. Here's where it gets insane. Multiple sources are saying Sony might introduce global shutter-like performance, or at least drastically reduced rolling shutter. Now, if you've ever panned your camera quickly and watched buildings turn into waveforms, you know rolling shutter is the silent killer of handheld shots. It's why some filmmakers still swear by older cameras with mechanical shutters. If Sony nails this, you could whip pan during a car chase, run and gun at weddings, or shoot fast action without that weird warping effect. That's huge. And get this, some leaks are even hinting at 6K or 8K recording. Now, I know what you're thinking. Who needs 8K? My laptop can't even handle 4K. Fair. But here's why it matters. Cropping, stabilization, future-proofing. You shoot in 6K, deliver in 4K, and suddenly you've got built-in punch-ins and room to stabilize without losing quality. It's like having a second camera operator in post. But wait, there's more. Sony's autofocus is already legendary. But the FX3 Mark II? They're supposedly throwing AI-powered subject recognition into the mix. Imagine this. You're filming a wedding. The bride's walking down the aisle. Suddenly, a kid runs into frame. Normally, your camera panics, refocuses on the kid, and you miss the shot. With AI autofocus, the camera knows the bride is your subject. It locks on, ignores distractions, and save your butt. This isn't just autofocus 2.0. This is autofocus that thinks. And for solo shooters juggling 10 tasks at once, that's the difference between getting the shot and going home with footage you can't use. Oh, and those high frame rates everyone's been begging for. Rumors say 4K at 180 frames per second might be on the table. That's buttery slow-mo without switching to a dedicated slow-mo cam. Your action sequences, B-roll, even product shots, everything just got a cinematic upgrade. Let's talk about something that doesn't get enough hype: dynamic range and low-light performance. The current FX3 already crushes it in low light. Like, you can practically film by candlelight and still get usable footage. But the Mark II? Leaks suggest Sony's pushing the ISO performance even further, possibly hitting native ISO 12,800 without turning your image into a grainy mess. Picture this. You're shooting a documentary in a dimly lit restaurant. No fancy lighting setup, just you and the camera. With the FX3 Mark II, you could crank the ISO, maintain color accuracy, and walk away with footage that looks like you had a full lighting crew. That's not just convenient, that's liberating. And the dynamic range? We're hearing whispers of 15 plus stops, which means you could expose for the shadows in a backlit scene and still recover the highlights in post. No more choosing between a blown-out sky or a person's face looking like a shadowy blob. For colorists, this is like Christmas morning. More information to work with means more creative control. You want that moody, contrasty look? You got it. Bright and airy? Done. The camera gives you the raw ingredients. You just cook it however you want. But here's where it gets interesting. Let's talk about something everyone overlooks: the actual camera body and usability. The original FX3 was designed like a hybrid between a cinema camera and a mirrorless beast. Compact enough to throw on a gimbal, tough enough for real-world production. But it wasn't perfect. That flip-out screen? Great for vlogging, awkward for certain rigs. The button layout? Some shooters found it cramped. Now, rumors suggest Sony's refining the design based on user feedback. We might see improved heat dissipation because nobody wants their camera shutting down mid-interview. Potentially modular accessories that snap on without third-party cages, and maybe, just maybe, a brighter, higher-resolution LCD screen that's actually visible in direct sunlight. Because let's be real, how many times have you been shooting outside, squinting at your screen like you're trying to read ancient hieroglyphics, hoping you nailed focus? Yeah, a better screen alone could be worth the upgrade. And for audio folks, there's chatter about enhanced preamps and improved XLR inputs. Cleaner audio straight out of camera means less time fixing it in post, and for run-and-gun creators, that's a massive time saver. All right, gear nerds, this section's for you. Let's talk codecs and recording formats, because this is where things get spicy. The current FX3 shoots in XAVC-SI and ZAVC-HS, which are solid, but some pros have been begging for ProRes RAW internal recording. And guess what? Some leaks are hinting that Sony might finally deliver on that. ProRes RAW would be a game-changer for anyone doing heavy color grading or VFX work. You get all that sensor data without needing an external recorder dangling off your rig. Maximum flexibility, maximum control, and yeah, maximum file sizes. Speaking of file sizes, if the 6K and 8K rumors are true, you're looking at gigantic data rates. We're talking potentially 2 to 3 terabytes per hour of recording at the highest settings. Your poor hard drives are going to need therapy. But here's the silver lining. Sony's ZAVC-HS codec is incredibly efficient. So you might get options for high-quality compressed formats that don't eat your entire storage budget. Think of it like Netflix, great quality without downloading the entire internet. And for those wondering about recording times, rumor has it Sony's addressing the overheating issues that plagued earlier cameras. We might see unlimited recording in most modes. No more stopping at 29 minutes because of some arbitrary limit. Now, here's the part nobody's talking about. All these upgrades, they're incredible, but they also mean heat, power consumption, and storage demands are about to skyrocket. Shooting 6K or 8K at high frame rates, you're going to need V90 cards, external cooling solutions, and maybe a second mortgage for all those CFexpress cards. Let's do some quick math. A 512 gigabytes CFexpress card, around $400. You're shooting a full-day event? You might need 3 or 4 of those. That's $1,200 to $1,600 just in media, before you even hit record. Plus, and this is the big one, Sony hasn't confirmed a single thing yet. These are leaks, rumors, whispers from supply chains, and YouTube insiders. The final product could be totally different, or worse, delayed. So if you're sitting on the fence, wondering whether to buy the original FX3 now or wait, that's the gamble. Do you grab a proven workhorse today, or hold out for a potential game changer that might not arrive for months? Look, here's the truth. The Sony FX3 Mark II could redefine what a compact cinema camera is capable of. If the rumors are even close to accurate, we're talking about a tool that competes with cameras twice its price, while still fitting in a backpack. But rumors are just rumors. And in this industry, hype can be dangerous. So here's my advice. If you need a camera right now, the FX3 is still an absolute beast. Prices might even drop when the Mark II launches. But if you can wait, keep your eyes glued to this space. Because if Sony pulls this off, the FX3 Mark II won't just be an upgrade. It'll be the camera that changes how we think about hybrid filmmaking. What do you think? Are these upgrades worth the wait? Or is Sony overpromising? Are you team buy now? Or team wait for the Mark II? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want to stay ahead of all the leaks, specs, and gear breakdowns, hit that subscribe button. You won't regret it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go stress test my credit card limit on CFexpress cards, just in case.